Hey, good morning. This is May Valensky with Driving Markets. So what's going to be driving markets this week? You've got a raft of reports coming out. You've got all the banks reporting this week, or a lot of banks reporting this week. You've got inflation report in the States, and you've got consumer confidence. Wow, so you've got real two major indicators economically what's going to be happening, and you've also got a commercial sector, banking, going to be reporting. This is going to give guidance as to whether the fallout from last week after the start of the new year seemed positive and turned negative. It's going to now indicate where we're going to go in the next few weeks. The inflation report I want to focus on for the next just couple of minutes. It's essential, I keep hammering home, essential that everyone understands the impact of inflation. At the moment, inflation is running in the States at 6.8%. In Europe, the UK, it's running at officially 5.1, but there's something wrong with those numbers because they simply just don't make sense. 6.8 in the States. If you get an inflation report, and my expectation is, my understanding is to be much greater than this, but if you get it greater than 6.8%, then the pressure on the central bank in the States, which is called the Fed, is going to be significant to raise interest rates faster than expected or mentioned last year, and more aggressively, and increase the speed and speed up the tapering program. Remember, the tapering program was the stimulus package that was offered in 2020, March 2020, when the whole world came to a complete standstill and the US introduced a stimulus package of tens of hundreds of billions of dollars. They're tapering that back now, and that might be speeded up due to higher inflation. If in the event inflation is lower than expected, then the markets will like that, and you expect the markets to go up or jump up significantly. Contrary to that, if inflation is much higher than expected, then you could see a significant drop in global markets and a continuing fall throughout the coming months, as long as that fear of inflation is there. So be very aware of that. It's not something you can ignore, because interest rates will go up. In addition, as I mentioned yesterday, the 10-year US Treasury was running on Friday at 1.77, which is the highest in 2 years. So you've got to be aware that the price of bonds is falling and the yields is rising. The reason why the price of bonds fall is quite simple. When it comes to people looking for return on their money, they want to get a good solid return, and therefore the price of bonds will fall in order to attract new buyers into the market and take on that particular asset class. Another point regarding the banks, I reckon the banks are going to have whopping profits when it comes to them announcing. So whoever's long of banks, in my opinion, I think their banks are going to pick up even further. And also, if there's a high inflation report, you can expect bank stocks to rise further, simply because interest rates rise and therefore the banks make more money on their loans. Just be aware of that. That's a very, very, very important point. Regarding crypto, so Bitcoin, being the flagship and the leader, has come off quite a lot in the last week or so. It's come all the way down from 53 down to 41.7. It was the highest, I think the highest was at $63,000 or $65,000, I can't remember. The question I've got for you is, at what level would you get in to buy it, and at what level would you be selling it, or are you only a buyer on Bitcoin or other cryptos? What's your view on that? So I'd like to have your comments on that. You can add them onto the YouTube. Remember, when you trade, only trade on regulated platforms, otherwise you will lose your money probably, because unregulated platforms, being unregulated, are there to take your money full stop, and you won't get any refunds whatsoever. So just be aware of that. If you need any help on who's regulated, speak to me and I'll be happy to guide you on those particular points. You can contact me on LinkedIn, WhatsApp, you can comment on this YouTube, you can see me on Instagram also. This is May Valensky with Driving Markets. All the best, have a good day.